Other good old age story of the SlenderMan. We have all heard of the SlenderMan, a supernatural thin creature, sometimes with tentacles proceeding from his back and sometimes not. That part of the story has never collaborated. What we do know about SlenderMan, however, is that this creature commonly stalks, abducts and even traumatizes people, particularly children. No one knows why he appears or for what reason. Before SlenderMan does appear, there are noticeable signs that he is approaching. For one, any electrical device that produces sound will produce a static sound with any lights on that device starting to flash. Secondly, if you do not carry any device such as a mobile phone, MP3 player or even a Walkman, the only other way to tell that he is coming is to pay attention to street lights that are around you. These lights will start to flicker as if the area has just been visited by a ghost. However, if you do not have any street lights or electrical items on you, then there is another way you could tell if he is approaching. For one, the air around you will develop in a thick fog, so thick you cannot see your hand. Second, the air will also become ice cold as if someone had sucked all the heat from the air. Now I have told you about the SlenderMan. Let me tell you about the story of when I ran into the SlenderMan and how I managed to get away from him. I can't recall what I did to get away, but I will try my best to remember. So when this happened, I just turned sweet 16. My parents promised me a birthday party for a couple of days after. I guess it was a bit unconventional, but that didn't matter to me. After all, I was getting my party. In my room, I looked to my calendar and started marking the days off with a cross. 6 days to go, I thought to myself. I couldn't wait. All my friends will be there, and also, my parents told me that I had one big present left to unwrap. I was so excited, to say the least. My parents even let me plan my own party, which was awesome in my eyes. I look around for a good venue. It had to be big as most of my school would be attending. After a little searching around, I found a perfect venue. The venue I chose had stairs that lead downstairs into a ballroom. Perfect for when I made an entrance, I thought to myself. Now with the venue sorted, I left the decorations to my parents. They loved that sort of thing. Now with the venue and the decorations sorted, there was only one thing left to do, and that was my favorite thing, looking for a new dress to wear at the party. I arranged to go to town with my friends the next day. This day seemed to have gone so fast with having to sort everything out with the part. I put on my PJs and gave my friends a ring through Skype. We talked on Skype for what seemed like hours, talking about the type of dress that we were going to buy. I woke up the next day very excited, being able to buy a new dress for my birthday party. I hopped into the shower, got myself dressed and went downstairs to have my breakfast. I would say I would have about 2 hours before my friend come to collect me before going to the mall. In the meantime, I went back upstairs to my room and just browsed online at what type of shops I had at our mall. I must have lost track of time because before I know it, I heard the sound of a horn just outside my house. Getting up and having a look at who it could be, it was, of course, my friends waiting for me in the driveway. I packed up what I needed, my mobile phone and my iPod, and put them into my bag and headed downstairs. I told my mother that I was going to the mall. I turned to my dad as he said good luck and planted a few $100s into my hand. That was something I was not expecting to happen, but I thought to myself, maybe now I can be a complete outfit and maybe some new makeup. I kissed my dad on the cheek, told him to thank you, and went outside to my friends. Getting in the car with my phone in hand, I noticed something very strange with my phone. The screen started to flicker, but what made things even more strange was, I started to hear static through my iPod. This was very strange to me indeed, as I was not even using the radio on the iPod but some tracks I had put on myself. I decided that there was a malfunction of some kind with both devices, a little strange but could happen. I reset both devices, which returned to normal afterwards. While driving to the mall, I talked excitedly with my friends on how great this party would be. They did tell me that it was sad that there will be no booze, but what the heck, we don't need it to have a good time. Now at the mall parking up, I noticed again that my phone and iPod was acting up again. Seeing as they are both Apple products, I just decided to take this into the Apple store and get them checked out. They should still be within warranty and shouldn't cost me anything. When we entered the mall, I asked my friends if we could quickly pop over to the Apple store as I was having a few problems with my phone. Thankfully, they all agreed and we made our way there. Taking out my phone and iPod, it seemed whatever was happening to my devices had stopped. Great, I thought to myself, how typical. Now this will be hard to find any problems with the phone. I handed the representative my phone, iPod and told them the problem I was having with both of them. Even the representative said that this was strange but would have a look. They plug the devices into a computer and scanned them for any problems. However, again nothing popped up. They did apologize to me for not finding anything wrong but did say to come back if I had any more problem, which was great. The customer service was excellent from the store. Walking around the mall while window shopping, I thought I was starting to see things. Something that I was a horrid sight. It seemed to be in every direction I looked. After a few minutes I had to ask my friends if they could see what I was seeing, but they looked around and couldn't see anything. I was starting to think I was going crazy and seeing this person. However, this was no ordinary person I could see. Very tall and very thin. That wasn't a problem, but what made the problem worse was the man had no face. I pinched myself thinking I was still asleep, but no, that hurt and I didn't wake up. I told my friends about it, which did make them cautious but just asked me in return, "Did you mother or father bake you some special brownies?" In which I returned and told them heck no, I would never touch that stuff. The figure did seem to disappear after a few hours of us walking around the mall. I had been so worried about seeing this person that I forgot all about my dress. My friends stopped in front of a store and asked, "How about this place?" I looked into the store and to my surprise, they had some really beautiful dresses. With time against us now, I decided to get my dress from here along with my shoes to match. I now had 3 hours before the store was to close, but I just took my time choosing several dresses I like. I must admit I had fun trying them on and pretending I was on a catwalk. I had also forgotten about the tall thin man following me. After about an hour and a half, I chose the perfect dress, slim pink so it would show all of my curves, a shiny tiara and pink high heel shoes. Perfect for a party princess, I thought to myself. My other friends who were also with me, also brought new dresses, but their dresses weren't as good as mine. I just think that they saw me as the host and thought I should be the best looking girl there as it was my birthday. I loved my friends that way. Heading out of the store, I noticed that my Apple devices started to act up again. However, the mall was shutting very soon and I didn't have any more time to go back to the Apple store and thought to leave it for another day. Outside the store, the scene was something like Silent Hill. The movies or the game, you choose. It was very foggy outside, also it felt like someone had sucked all the warmth out of the air. It was freezing. Lucky I didn't bring a cardigan with me. I put it on to try and get a bit warm. It helped a little, but I could still feel a sharp frost through my cardigan. We all rushed to the car, just so we can turn on the heating and head home. On the way home, I started to see him again. This time he was everywhere I looked. This can't be right, I thought to myself. No one can run faster than a car. It seemed that every few hundred yards this man was pointing as we drove past. Now at home, I went and told my parents on what I thought I see. I can't say I did see him as I wasn't sure. They just looked at me and giggled to themselves while asking me if I have been on the wacky-backy. They were relaxed parents about some stuff. I don't think they would have minded me smoking stuff like that, but anything harder then they would have grounded my ass. They did say that perhaps I was a bit overexcited and was seeing them. They are right, I thought to myself. That week did go fairly fast, but not without being very strange for me. For a start, my Apple devices still acted up, but now it wasn't just the devices. The lights in my bedroom would start to flicker. This only happened in my room and nowhere else in my room. Also my computer did the same, but not my parents or brothers. Even at night when I woke up from a deep sleep, I even thought I was what was a mist or fog in my room, but put it down to being half asleep still, as I did go back to sleep. However, I did not see any more of this man that I saw earlier in the week. This made me feel a little better, but not much, as I still can't explain all the other strange stuff happening. The day before the party, I got onto Skype with my friend and told her all about my experiences. She didn't have an explanation either. She did tell me to have a go at Googling it, thought. Thinking to myself that it couldn't hurt to Google it, I decided to go and do exactly that. I Googled everything that happened to me and I got thousands of hits. However, going through Google, I did notice one subject that kept occurring. I clicked on one of the websites and scanned through it. I then noticed that whatever happened to me was also happening to other people. They even saw that strange figure that I saw myself. The website dubbed him as SlenderMan. However, the website said that this creature was an urban legend and shouldn't exist, but looking through several websites, he has been around for thousands of years and haunted the dreams of millions of children and teens, never adults. With the party the next day, I decided to put it to the back of my mind. I wanted this party to be a night to be remembered. After all, it's only once a girl turns sweet 16. I woke up the next day ecstatic. I just couldn't wait for the party. However, I was still having strange things happening to me, which brought my memories back to those websites I visited the night before. No way on earth could urban legends could be true, I thought to myself, but what on earth could this be that is happening to me? Again I put it to the back of my head and started to get ready for the party. It was now time for the party. I head out on my own as my parents told me to. I think they didn't want me to see the last present they brought me. While walking over to the party, things got a lot worse. The mist or fog returned. It turned colder than the North Pole. My phone started to act up again, and then there he was, right in front of me, that figure I had seen at the mall. I stood there for a second, frozen in fear. Then quickly as he came, he left. I snapped out of this daze and hurried my rush to the party. The fog and cold remained. My sixth sense clicked in and forced me to look behind. Again there he was. This time, however, it seems he is coming for me, but not walking, no. Instead, he seemed to disappear then reappear even closer to me, like he was teleporting himself closer to me. I started to jog to get to the party fast to where I knew it would be safer for me, but then the creature began to teleport even closer to me. He was now chasing me. I picked up my pace and ran faster. No matter how fast I ran, he just got closer and closer to me. I started to feel myself panic. I knew I need to get to safety. I kept this in my mind as I ran and ran. At one point I could swear I could feel the breath on my neck. I can see the last corner in sight where I knew that by turning right, the venue is right there and so would my safety be. I looked back to see if I was still being chased. I couldn't see him behind me, but I just kept running. I didn't want him to catch up to me at any cost. I looked back to where I was running to and my heart about dropped. I could have had a heart attack because right now this creature wasn't behind me but now in front of me. I was now petrified. Luckily I knew a back entrance into the venue, but I also didn't want him to know where I was going. I decided that at the last moment, I would change direction and confuse him. This was however dangerous as I didn't want him to catch me. I got near and near to him, my heart pounding more and more and harder than it ever has. I see it. The other entrance. I look back towards him. He is now doing something strange with his hands, but I didn't care. I needed to do what I needed to keep safe. I was about 300 meters away from him when I suddenly changed direction. He also started to teleport towards me, but it was no use. I got inside just in the nick of time. I thought it was over, but I was so wrong. He decided to carry on coming after me. He even teleported inside the building. I picked myself up and ran to the room where my party was. Very lucky, I managed to run inside to where all my friends and family were. As soon as I got in, I collapsed onto the floor to where my friends and family ran up to me, asking what's the matter. All I could tell them was that I was being chased by a man. Who else would believe me about a faceless, tall, thin man in a black suit? My parents went outside to see if they could see anything of the man but couldn't. They came back inside and called the police to canvass the area to look for him and arrest him. I don't really know how they are going to arrest someone who can teleport.